Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Harlequin here, bringing you another awesome 1 vs. 1 game for Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Today is March 15th. It's a beautiful day. And just as a reminder, March 18th, i.e. this Friday, 3 days from now, I will be giving away 2 Dawn of War single-player War Gear codes, DLC codes for Imperial Guard and for Chaos. I will be giving these 2 codes away to 2 random Twitter followers. So if you're interested in having free in-game stuff, just go ahead and jump on over to twitter.com and check me out. I'm HarlequinCasts. All you got to do is follow, and I'll be giving that stuff away courtesy of a wonderful viewer. So let's go ahead and check this replay out. As I said, this is Ashes of Typhon. Nice little rocky, molten kind of looking map here. And this game is pretty fun because it's got just a lot of little tactics and fun things going on, a little bit of tasteful abuse and whatnot. So up here on the northern side of the map, we have playing as the Warp Spider Exarch, Mr. CryZon, who has got somewhere around a 1600 LO rating, and his opponent today is going to be the James Bond of headquarters, HQ007. And again, he's going to be playing as the Chaos Lord for the Chaos Forces, and his LO is somewhere around 1650, something like that. And by the way, just to give you an idea what the hell I'm talking about, the ranking system here, if you hadn't read about that at all, Tasker was telling me all about this in one of the interviews we did for the pre-release event for Dawn of War 2 Retribution. They swapped on over from using Microsoft's true skill-based rating system to using the ELO-based rating system. And a lot of players like to call it ELO as if it stands for something like effective level or I don't know what. But ELO is actually the last name of a gentleman named Aprad Elo, who is a Hungarian physicist who was also a chess master, and he invented the ELO rating system, which you use to rate chess grandmasters and things like that. So it's based on statistics. It assumes a normal distribution of your skill around a certain point, and it tries to calculate the standard deviation, all this fancy math crap that frankly gets my blood boiling because I love talking math. But it doesn't matter. That's enough of a rant about ELO. But just to give you an idea, when people talk about those numbers, that's what it is. It's a little bit of statistics to kind of judge the player's skill rating based on what they think their skill rating should be. Anyhow, the game, it begins. So, without any surprises whatsoever, I would imagine we're going to see this Warp Spider Exarch blinking all across the map here right away. Taking a look around, it looks like 007 has got a standard Chaos Space Marines coming out second, but we do have double Guardian Squad coming out for CryZon. So I would expect HQ perhaps to be, I don't know, I'd kind of like to see double Chaos Heretics out there, knowing what I know that there's all of these Guardians coming out, but I'd imagine he's going to save up and get double Chaos Space Marines because they seem to be really good early on. Let's take a look around the map, see what this Chaos Lord is up to, just kind of grabbing some random victory points. Again, if you're not familiar with this map, we have got victory point here and then forming a nice little triangle, 3 victory points through the center, interposed with a second 3 power points that form like an opposite sort of triangle just to kind of make it pseudo-symmetric. It's got a line of symmetry down the middle of it there. So, CryZon, going for triple Guardian Squads and a Warp Spider Exarch, is setting himself up to be incredibly mobile in the early game. Warp Spider Exarch is going to be able to blink around to any unguarded victory points, whereas these Guardians are going to be able to just kind of cap very effectively. As you can see, he's grabbing 3 or 4 points at a time, whereas poor HQ007 here has got a very, very slow Chaos Lord, single Chaos Heretics, and a single Chaos Space Marine. Chaos Heretics, by the way, currently being shredded by the Cuisinart, that is the Warp Spider Exarch and his Death Spinners. They're going to have to go ahead and just retreat on out of there. Looks like they don't want to take any additional damage, but they were able to cap that requisition point. Much as I suspected, these Guardians are just capping all around the map right now, doing a fairly good job at just grabbing everything they need. Upgrading a power node currently, and by the way, it looks like, so HQ going definitely for kind of a long game here, upgraded his power and threw down 2 generators before he even considered getting a 3rd unit. So he's vastly outnumbered on the field right now. But, you know, he's shooting for a faster sort of tier 2 kind of game. It looks like he does have Chaos Havocs coming out now, though, which is not a bad idea when you have lots of little flimsy suppressible guys running around in the battlefield, all grouped up nicely as they are. And you'll notice, by the way, that this Warp Spider Exarch did cap this victory point and is now in the middle of capping this requisition point. And it looks like the Chaos Heretics, backed up by some angry Chaos, angry Chaos Space Marines looking for a little bit of revenge. They're going to come down here, hack away with this Warp Spider. He's undoubtedly going to try and cap that point. No! He just gives up on it right away, wants to get out of there, taking a little bit of that Doom Blast and then blinking away. More towards the north here, we can see that this Guardian squad took, it looks like, a single casualty to the Chaos Lord, continuing to just kind of kite him along. Meanwhile, the other two squads are capping around, and I hear the pitter-patter of Chaos Havoc fire just below. And now, retreating right through the Chaos Lord, looks like took 2 additional casualties there, and a single Guardian is the only remaining gentleman from that squad. So, sorry, coughing a little bit. The Chaos Lord is awesome in close combat. As you can see him coming on in there, he can always set off that kill the weak ability whenever he gets too close to a squad like that, doing damage, filling his health back up. Pretty much any squad early game wants to stay the hell away from him, which is why it's fantastic to go ahead and get a Shuriken Cannon, as you can see CryZon has out here right now. Likely he just wants to kind of camp this top victory point. I think he's relatively confident that he can hold on down here, although currently he's not because these gentlemen decided to push up on the left there. But I'd imagine his game plan is just to kind of camp out around this victory point and just kind of hope to constantly blink down here and cap this. Looks like the Chaos Space Marines and the Chaos Heretics are going ahead with their plan, capping away at this stuff over here on CryZon's side of the map. Guardian Squad just finished upgrading their plasma grenades with the battle equipment there. Now we have 3 plasma grenade squads. We just have a gaggle of plasma grenades on the field right now. Potentially, these Chaos Space Marines retreating away. Not going to take too much damage. They're retreating just in time. And now it looks like all forces combining in right on top of these Chaos Heretics. Chaos Heretics taking a ton of damage. Oh no, retreating right through triple plasma grenades, taking a whole lot of extra damage there. I think for now they're going to get away, but just getting massacred. And you can see this awesome blink micro right now on the Warp Spider Exarch, making sure to get as many kills as he possibly can. And just as they think they're safe, he's going to blink one more time and start shredding away at them just to make sure that he inflicts maximum damage on his opponent's economy right there. Really good, and you'll see once again that these Guardians just kind of split up right away and recapped all of that stuff, capping this victory point, and just kind of doing a good job at spreading out there. Now we will see that HQ007 has got his Noise Marines on the battlefield. Not a bad idea. Noise Marines, of course, when they fire at a ranged unit, they prevent it from firing back. And also they have the flamethrower type effect here and capping away at that power node right now. So, you know, very interesting build orders here. Warp Spider Exarch, again, trying to be really sneaky and decapping this point, but he's going to have to go away and retreating. You know, I always think you should just blink first. I mean, he just hit 35 mana, but you should blink first and then retreat just so you don't have that much extra gap there. But who knows? Whatever, man. I'm not going to argue. More towards the center. It looks like the Noise Marines decapped this power node after noising it down, but they are also going to have to get on out of there. Let's see, Warp Spider Exarch still at level 1, Chaos Lord still at level 1. Looks like CryZon is heading up to level to tier 2 first, actually. HQ definitely has the power for it. He just does not have the will for it. I don't know. He just hasn't done it yet. Spending some stuff on Noise Marines and Havocs and whatnot. So, Chaos Heretics here hanging out. I'm surprised to see the Chaos Heretics do not have a grenade launcher upgrades. That could be pretty useful grenade barraging these big clusters of troops here. And here we have plasma grenades going off right in front of these Noise Marines. The Noise Marines trying to get in close because they want to silence all of these ranged units, but they just can't. Knocked back by a plasma grenade, and then that bought just enough time for the Shuriken Cannon weapons team to set up, and now they're too suppressed to run into a useful distance here. We see a reasonable flank coming out of the Chaos Lord, and by the way, HQ did just begin tier 2 there, but things are looking a little bit tricky for him. You can see the Warp Spider blinking in right behind him now, doing quite a bit of damage there, and the Chaos Lord just going to have to sadly kind of hang his giant Terminator head in shame and waddle on home. Looks like the Guardian squad now moving on in, and this is a pretty nice retreat here. He retreated right through his Chaos Havocs, kind of suckered these guys into getting within range, and now the Chaos Havocs kind of punishing them a little bit. But you can see, having only the ability to fire into a single squad at a time, the Shuriken Cannon weapons team gets set up and is now suppressing the suppressor, turning the tide of battle once again. And we have a double plasma grenade going. Oh my goodness! That is just a mess right there. Just terrible, terrible damage. Absolutely jibbing those gentlemen. Ooh, that is not good at all. Grenades very good against foes who cannot get out of the way. That is going to be a hard one to get back on. Looks like the Chaos Heretics now moving on in, trying to Doom Blast, you know, doing a little bit of damage here to the Shuriken weapons team, but likely just going to have to get out of there because they are being kind of closed in on from all sides. We can see now that the Warp Spider Exarch, Warp Spider Exarch ladies and gentlemen, has phase armor. And we can see here, he is phase shifting, locking all of these units into place and removing from the game. And he breaks phase shift just in time for the grenade to go off on top of everybody. Oh my god, terrible, terrible damage there. That is just brutal. And by the way, I apologize that I'm abusing that phrase. Gentleman Foxbat was requesting that he was saying I don't use that phrase enough, so I thought I'd start including that in including that in my descriptions just a little bit more, and I think that's quite appropriate. But yes, phase armor, very, very sneaky there. I know a lot of people are just sitting here right now just thinking to themselves, aha, this is the proof I need. I'm going to send this video directly to Relic, and now they will know once and for all that phase armor needs to be nerfed. I don't care, man. I'm not going to weigh in on that. Whatever. I think it is an ability you have to play around just like everything else, and only time will tell. We'll see. But it requires a lot of micro to use properly, and it requires a lot of micro to play around. I think basically, hopefully, HQ007 will learn his lesson and say, aha, I get it. There's a lot of Guardians on the field right now. They all have Plasma Grenade upgrades, and the Warp Spider Exarch made a beeline for phase armor. Therefore, I should not group my troops up into large clumps and keep an eye on that blinking around Warp Spider however I can, and just kind of play around that idea. By the way, we do have a Falcon on the field right now. While I was jibber-jabbering about all that stuff, Falcon is out here. Cacophonous blasts just coming out of these Noise Marines to the north right now. Unfortunately, only doing a little bit of damage. Successfully knocking around that Warp Spider, though, kind of preventing him. Oh, and it looks like the Warp Spider using his phase shift, but not quite getting the troops just the way he wants. You can see fleet of foot Guardians running on in, wanting to get a piece of that, throwing the grenades in, and it works. It does. He gets there just in time and knocks all of these gentlemen everywhere. Oh, no. I believe he completely annihilated. No, sorry. He actually just did 2 kills to the Noise Marines and then 1 kill to, I believe, the Chaos Space Marines. Or strike that, reverse it. I don't know. I don't care. Either way, he did a lot of damage. So, the Falcon is great here, entirely unnecessary just because he seems to be doing so well with his already existing little trick of using phase armor and plasma grenades. So definitely something to play around. Definitely don't go standing next to units that are already phase shifted because you can expect a plasma grenade to show up there. So what's going on right now? Falcon has come up here to the northern position and is totally gen bashing this entire this secondary gen farm. His main gen farm is down here, but absolutely took that thing out. I would expect these guys to cap that, but perhaps they have bigger fish to fry and are looking for other things. Chaos Lord right now, still no real upgrades on him. I would love to see Armor of the Inferno or at least a Combi Flamer out of him. Something to take care of large clusters of troops. Combi Flamer, he could immolate and burn them all with a little flamethrower shot there. And Armor of the Inferno, or whatever the hell it's called, he could let the galaxy burn and do a huge AoE kind of fireball. All of those would be good against these big clusters of troops here. But hopefully he'll do something soon. In the meantime, he has gone ahead and bought a Chaos Dreadnought. This Chaos Dreadnought has a lovely looking pair of claws, or a single big old shiny claw and an autocannon on his shoulder. I love the way the bullets look on that. Anyhow, I'm being all just zooming in and stuff. So the Chaos Dreadnought now moving on out. Likely he wants to, get a piece of this Falcon with it, perhaps. I guess eventually I'd like to see it just get straight upgraded to Mark of Khorne. But honestly, you could go rocket launcher through here. It kind of depends what else is going to be coming on the battlefield. And once again, all of the troops still clumping up in the same position right in front of a big grouping of Guardians. And oh my god, the Autarch comes down on top of it too! And it's just terrible, terrible damage everywhere. Autarch and plasma grenades and phase shift just wrecking, absolutely wrecking. Thankfully, the Chaos Dreadnought is still looking pretty sharp here. You can see him getting in for some nice-looking melee hits. These gentlemen have been upgraded to Mark of Tzeentch. I have no idea why, although it's not. I guess it's not the worst idea now that Autarch is out there. But it looks like the Falcon is just running for its life right now. This Chaos Dreadnought really just needs to stop and shoot at it. Yes, there he goes. And the out-of-control Falcon goes crashing into the ruins, and he smote his ruin upon the mountainside. The Autarch now just kind of flitting around here. Probably not going to want to stick around for too much longer. Yes, Autarch jumping away. And now the Guardians are fleet of footing all the way down to the opposite side of the map. By the way, haven't even had a chance to point out the score thus far. It is currently 2-1, favor going to our dear friend CryZon with his phase-shifting plasma grenades. He is at 431 points versus poor HQ007, who's at 260 as the blue player. Looking around, we've got 2 more generators up here, 3 generators here. I just like to do a generator count now and then. Taking a look at some of the money and some of the red resources. We can see here that it looks like the Guardians, got kind of crunched up a little bit by that Chaos Dreadnought. Cast aside. And we have a nice looking lull here in the battlefield. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I will be giving away 2 DLC codes to 2 random Twitter followers this Friday. So follow me on Twitter if you would like that prize. By the way, notice that the Autarch has upgraded to the fusion gun. And there we have it! Let the galaxy burn! Oh, yes!